guys. I just finished welcoming everybody in the room, and then I'm here to welcome you online as well. Welcome to our New Year ritual for September. I'm so grateful and blessed to have you with me. It's been a while since you saw me because I was in Denver for a good chunk of time. One of the most exciting adventures for us in Denver this year is really fun to see old familiar faces and also to find new people in new spaces, new connections in different countries. So there's so much exciting stuff coming to you over the next 6 to 12 months. I'm really thrilled on that note. So that's about gemstones. Tonight is more about intentions for you. So hopefully you can hear me pretty clearly. Or, yeah, so I'm going to be with you for the next hour. There's some new folks in the room, and then I can also see new people online. If you're new, I want to welcome you. There's an echo, so hopefully on the sound side, I'm not sure how to articulate it, so we will manage the sound for you, which is perfect for you. Sound is always the issue, right? So there's a little bit of feedback happening. Okay. Let us know, you guys, online, once the sound is better for you, when I'm not in a station. I will let you know too, I'm recovering from a nice case of bronchitis, so I still have a lot of that happening. I'm here with you. I've never missed a ritual, but just so you know, my voice may come and go over the course of the ritual. Bear with me. I haven't talked at all today really to try and save my voice for you, so I didn't want to miss our chance to get it for me. So this is an important occasion. You guys can't hear it all from online if you can't hear it. So we're on it. We'll figure it out. Just stay with me. Maybe you can read my list. That will help us for this minute. So I'm going to keep talking, and you guys just give us feedback and let us know once you guys can hear. Does it sound better? Thank you guys, I really appreciate it. So one of my intentions is wellness. In a place like this. I think it's because if you were with me during Denver, I was live like every 10 minutes. You guys enjoy the live streams from Denver. So if you were in our Denver, then you saw me literally probably 5 times a day. And so that's probably what happened to my voice with me discussing too much longer. Are you guys able to hear? Super David's here. Virgo in the Virgo season, fixing all of our problems. The Leo can't do that. I can talk for a long time, but I can't fix anything. Okay, he's here. He's on it. I don't know. It's all gibberish to me, but they're working on it. Okay. So hopefully you're in the right place at the right time. It's a new moon ritual. And what I was just saying to everybody who's in the room is the new moons are incredibly important. We've done so many rituals for the last almost 6 years now. We haven't missed a single full moon in that time. But the new moon, this is actually only our second new moon ritual, live in person and online. And what I was saying to everyone in the room is the new moon is one of the most important nights of the year for you. The fact that you're choosing to spend it with me is a huge compliment, really, because it's one of 12 or 13, I don't know how many moons we have in a year, most important nights of the year. This is the night when you get to make, I don't want to make old new wishes for Santa, you know what I mean? So you have your mom put in the door somewhere for the mail, I don't know. I don't know how to do this list. I have a big wish list. I know that, often I like, and I'm going to put in my drawer, and it's 11 sugar. But anyway, honestly though, at the new moon, you do get to do that. I mean, you do get to make your wish list. And what's really funny is even myself sometimes, I'll start talking to myself and saying things like, and we're working on it, so just stand by. David's like right there. You don't see him. Maybe you see the top of his head right there, but he's right there. Is it a little bit better, everybody? Sound is weird. Lots of static. There's no hair situations. Everybody, I want to... Pinning a mic on me with all of the things is tricky. Is that better? Is that better, everybody? Can you hear me now? That's going to fall forward, though. Let me position it in a way that's... Sorry, guys. Bear with us. Next time we'll figure this all out before we go live. Okay. Hold on. Stand by. We're getting there. I just want to put it in a place where it's not going to move. Okay. Is that better? Can you guys hear me okay now? It should be better. I'm going to turn... Can we turn that fan back on just for a second? Okay. Is it better? Can you guys hear me okay? They're saying no, it's not better. Yes, it's better. No, it's not better. Barely, maybe sort of low. Okay, so I'm going to keep talking and they will continue to figure this out, but we don't have any kind of interference issues, so I'm going to keep talking. Okay, so this is really the night when you declare before the universe, all of you in the room and everyone online, what it is that you want to create. And part of my intention is I want you to start thinking in lunar cycles, okay? And a lot of us think, most of us actually think about today. What am I going to do today? What's my to-do list? What do I have to get done? What do I have to get done this week? We don't think about the month ahead, but our ancestors did. They worked magic in lunar cycles. At the new moon, they decided what it is they wanted to create in the 28 days ahead. They planted seeds of intention. A lot of times they also planted literal seeds, not just metaphorical seeds. So that's how I want you to start living your life. I want you to start living your life by setting intentions at the new moon, at the full moon celebrating whatever you create, and then as the moon begins to wane, leading up to the next new moon, I want you to begin to do the work of releasing and letting go of what didn't come to fruition so that you can begin to prepare your next list of intentions. What I personally do is I set intentions every new moon for the next lunar cycle, which is 28 days. I set intentions for the next 3 months, 6 months, and 12 months, every new moon. And what that means is some of those intentions get reinforced, which is really important. Those 12-month intentions out, every new moon you're putting additional fuel, additional energy, additional trust, additional faith toward those intentions. And it's really important that you continue to do that. And one of the things I was teaching, does it sound better now? Perfect. Yay, go team, go Dave, go Hilda, we did it.
Good before I leave?
Virgo in the house, I could not have done that. That's a Christmas miracle right there. Cheers. Now, if my voice remains for the whole hour, it'll really be a Christmas miracle. But it's really important. What I was teaching my students today, I gave them a recorded meditation, and the upshot of it was, if manifestation was easy, everybody would do it. I promise you, everybody would do it. It's not easy. Is it easy on the night of the new moon to set some intentions? It sure is, right? It isn't hard to make a wish list, everybody, right? What's hard is trusting that those things are going to unfold in perfect time and in divine alignment with your soul's path. And even when shit happens, you hit obstacles, you are going to hit obstacles. I mean, I'm sorry, but if you dream a big dream, you are going to hit an obstacle. That obstacle is likely to be a test for you. Do you want it enough? Are you willing to push through? And the answer for most people is no. You know what? I'm not willing to push through. That got hard, and now I'm going to do something easier. And most people recoil. Where you really see the power of manifestation, and what we're all in awe of, are people who can set an intention tonight, and then for the next 28 days, every single night, add fuel to that fire. Begin to work toward that goal. In the face of obstacles, they say, nope, I'm going to continue. I'm sorry, that person says I can't do it. This thing happens. That sign's happening. Everything's trying to throw me off my course. But I know in my soul that is what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm going to continue. When you get to that level of unwavering faith in your goal, then literally nothing can stop you. And that's what I want to challenge you to think about tonight, is the intention that you set tonight, and we're going to talk about Virgo in a minute. The intention that you set tonight, I want you to want it enough. Does that make sense to you? Like, do you want it enough? And I always share the story of Sage Goddess because I didn't know when I was setting intentions for the work that I do now that I was creating a business. That wasn't my intention. But I wanted to share, my singular intention at the outset of creating Sage Goddess was, I want to share moon ritual with people around the world. Now, I didn't have a way to do that. So that seemed like an absolutely impossible thing. But that was my singular goal, is I wanted to do what we're doing tonight. That was really all I wanted in my heart and soul. So in so many ways, just sitting here with you tonight is the completion of a goal that I set in 2010, 2011. And the other thing I'll tell you is this. You got to continue to say thank you for that. Because you can keep setting other goals. It makes me want to cry. You can keep setting other goals, right? Isn't it always possible to want more and more and more? That's how we're conditioned. But how beautiful it is that one of your goals came to pass.
again, the fact that I'm sitting here talking to you tonight is the completion of a dream. Now, I could move on to the next thing. I have other goals. But you better believe that I am so grateful for you tonight, like everybody in the room. My heart is so full because this was a goal once. And you have to look at your life right now and say everything you have, you wanted it at some point. You know, that weird relationship that you're in now, sorry. I mean, I'm sorry, but you wanted it at some point, right? I mean, that all those things that kind of bog you down, if you really are honest with yourself, at some point you wanted that. And what I see a lot of people doing, and think about the universe's perspective on this for just a moment. Imagine the universe, because the universe delights in giving you what you desire. Think about it, right? Think of the universe like a parent. Don't you love it when you're able to give your children something that they want? Like, you get excited, you're about to give it to them, they're going to find out, how will they feel? Because you love, right? The universe feels that way with you. Imagine if you give something to your child and they're like, okay, great. Well, anyway, now I want this other thing. And it's like, but you got that. And you keep getting that, you know? And so the gesture of gratitude every single day, even if you're not thankful for it anymore, that I say that weird relationship just because a lot of us can understand that, but even if you're not grateful for that weird relationship anymore, just take a moment today to say, and do it right now, just say, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, right? You have been given many gifts. Whether you continue to want them is another matter, but you have been given many gifts. And so the first step, and this is what, I will tell you something, this is what I see missing from a lot of people's new moon rituals. I see all the abundance checks and all the write the number you want and all that stuff. What I don't see people saying is before you say please, say thank you. Because the universe delights in giving you what you desire, but it really does wait on you to say, I'm so thankful for all those other things. So before you give me one more thing, can I just say thank you? And I'll give you some advice. I have actually dedicated entire lunar cycles to just the thank you, with no please. You might try that. Just the thank you. Like, you know what? I'm good. And I've actually dedicated whole lunar cycles to putting energy behind other people's intentions. Sometimes with my kids, it used to blow their mind, but now they understand. Sometimes when I'm eating out with my kids, I will intuitively choose another table at the restaurant and pay for their check. And my kids used to say, why did you do that? Why did you buy that person's food or whatever? Do they need you to buy their food? And I would say, I don't know who they are and I don't know what they ordered, so I don't know if they need me to buy their food. But that's my way of saying thank you for me having enough food to eat. And then when that person hears, oh my gosh, somebody picked up your check, what would you do? You would be so inspired. Wouldn't you want to do the same thing? Because now you've got this rush, right? So it's a little bit of that. Like, you know what? I'm good. This month, take all this energy I'm raising. And I'm not saying you're there yet, but you'll get to a place where you are. Take all this energy we're raising and send it to the Caribbean islands tonight to help them rebuild their homes. Take all this beautiful energy that we've raised and send it to Oregon and Washington, where those fires, and even parts of California where those fires have burned through, and give it to the people who are rebuilding their homes. Take all this energy tonight. I overflow with blessings, and so take all that energy and send it. So anyway, I share that with you because tonight's new moon is in Virgo, and Virgo is the sign of deep service. A lot of people think of Virgo as the sign of work, and it is, but it's work through service. Virgo looks around. Any Virgos in the room here, by the way? Virgo rising, but Virgo sun. We got 1 in the house, 2 in the house, 3 in the house. Anybody else? The Virgos are shy. They're like, Leos are like, hi, right? I say, that's right. Yeah, take all that energy tonight and send it to Texas, right? Send it to the entire Gulf Coast. How many people do you know that have been affected by Harvey and Irma, and now we got Maria coming up? You got to keep sending. So anyway, so I didn't mean to leave you guys out on the Gulf Coast. Of course, you know you have my heart and some of my money too. We continue to donate here at Sage Goddess. We just keep rotating different charities and places that we can send our financial donations to support the rebuilding efforts, as it's shocking and it has hit our community personally in many ways. Virgo wants nothing more than to serve you. If you are happy, if you have what you need, if you are doing well, Virgo is happy too. That's all Virgo wants. And sometimes it's hard to believe with Virgos, like, really? Leos are like, really? Aries is like, oh, come on. Taurus is like, give me a break, right? But it's legit for Virgo. Because Virgo is selfless. It is the Virgin, right? Virgo is complete unto itself. It really doesn't need a partner. It doesn't need anybody else. It doesn't even need accolades, or it doesn't need affirmation. Virgo's here to be of service. My Venus is in Virgo, so that's how I love. So I know this quite well. For me, love is service. If my kids are happy, if my partner has what he needs, if everybody around me feels like they've got what they need. I'm the one, before I eat, I'm looking around, is everybody else eating, right? Maybe it's an old Greek grandma thing too, bless you. But I think it's my Virgo, my Venus in Virgo. But that's how we love, is through service, and through it's selfless service. It's almost a martyrdom that happens with Virgo. And so anyway, tonight I want you to set a personal intention tonight and a planetary intention tonight. And that's in the spirit of Virgo. I want you to think about if all of your needs were met, and honestly, you should really live your life as if they are. If you haven't been living your life that way, I want you to start tonight. If all of your needs are met, then who would you start to serve? Who would it be? For me, it's always children and single moms. That's where my heart goes to. I don't know why exactly. I haven't been a single mom. But I will tell you, that's the first place my mind and my heart goes to, because I know from vicarious experience how difficult that particular path is. So my heart always goes to children and single parents. But where does your heart go? Where would you start to lean in and offer support if all of your needs were met? I really want you to answer that question tonight. Not for me personally, but in your heart. Where would you start? That'll be a good key to you, by the way, about where to start to think about building your philanthropic efforts too. And more, Sage Goddess, we're having strategic conversations around our own philanthropy as an organization. So what you're going to start to see is efforts from Sage Goddess going toward public philanthropy, like sort of, we're talking about micro and macro. So big philanthropy supporting larger organizations, and then micro philanthropy, we're likely going to be using Kiva as a way of supporting entrepreneurs around the world, especially female entrepreneurs around the world. So you can look forward to seeing more of that as the fall season and the winter season come forward. To animals, right? To people facing poverty, to artists, to healing the earth, to providing clean water, right? So I really want you to open your heart tonight. This is the right time to do it. And as much as I want you to make all of your personal dreams come true, I think our planet is in a place where we also have to start to think about making our planetary visions come to fruition too, because our planet is crying. I want to say that we are holding space for everyone in Mexico tonight. This is the second time Mexico has been rocked by a major earthquake in recent weeks, and so we are holding space tonight. Our hearts are overflowing. We are sending love and calming energies to the entire country of Mexico. We have many friends, family members of people in our organization, and so we are holding space tonight for Mexico. And for everyone. That's right. Ubuntu is the concept, right? Claire can define Ubuntu for me, Claire. Did I pronounce it right?
Yeah, you did. It's everybody living. Everybody is only as good as the weakest person. So it's making sure that the weakest person is stronger, that you're all one.
Yeah. So Claire on my team is South African. And so that's the definition of Ubuntu, which is you are only as strong as the weakest person. And so if you don't pick up the weakest person, if you don't look around and ask, what can I be doing to serve others, your own strength is jeopardized. Does that make sense? And I have to tell you, one of the things I look at, I really did make an intentional point of looking around, not with judgment, but just as a way of observing. Even in metaphysical communities, during the hurricanes and all these things, I didn't see people with an outpouring of, here's where we're donating, or here's what we're doing. I expect that people in spiritual communities are supporting each other and that are engaging in those efforts and trying to support the broader community, because our planet is calling out for it. So I encourage you all to find places where you feel comfortable, and if you don't have financial assistance to offer, send energy. Our planet needs it. Send calming, loving energies, especially to the Caribbean and to Mexico tonight. Okay, you ready? We have no eclipses tonight. This is fertile ground for creation, everybody. So there's no, like, I've been giving you caveat after caveat, like, don't charge your stones, don't do this, don't do that. No, we have no eclipse activity. You are clear for takeoff tonight with your intentions. I do want to give a shout out. Maria Plum, who's a member of our community, has a little group of ladies on the East Coast who are gathered for a new moon party tonight. So I want to give a special little, we see you. We wish that there was a way to connect our new moon parties together. But anyway, West Coast sees you, East Coast. So just know that we're with you. Okay. So Virgo represents work, service, organization, and sacrifice. And like I said, I want you to think as we go into our meditation tonight about one personal intention and one planetary intention that you can hold for everyone around the world. And you can anchor that wherever and however it feels good to you. Okay, you ready? All right. So I'm going to open our circle just with a very basic sort of calling to the 4 elements in the 4 directions. I already smudged our room. I'm going to do one more just quick smudge for all of you so that you feel the energy of that. We have a highly smudged room. Just a little virtual smudge for you. So I want you to call your energy into present time from wherever you are, whatever's happened to you today, whatever's on your mind, whatever's worrying you or troubling you. Call all of your energy into present time. Roll your shoulders back. Close your eyes. It's amazing sometimes for me just to think that we gather under this dark sky tonight, as our ancestors have done for thousands of years. I was watching a documentary about ancient Sumerian temple practices. And you better believe the Sumerian oracle and all the priestesses of Inanna were gathering at every new moon in ancient Sumeria. And this goes back 3, 4, 5,000 BC, if not farther. Because I think some of our dating is off. And so anyway, as we do this work tonight, we are really in service and in line with our ancestors from millennia ago. And I think that's very, very powerful for all of us. So calling on the guardians of the Eastern Gateway. This is where we open our circle. We always begin in the East. The East represents new beginnings. Guardians of the East, we invite you to join us this evening. We welcome a new beginning as we create new visions of what's possible for us in our lives. We ask for element of air to come through and just blow a new breeze into our lives, into our consciousness. Help us to come up with new solutions to old problems, element of air. You are the innovative force, and you show us new ways. You move us in new directions. And it's so subtle how the element of air transforms us, and yet it's powerful. There's nothing more powerful. In fact, we've seen that with recent storms, what air can do. So element of air, we encourage you to support us in these new beginnings tonight. We thank you for your presence. And then to direction of south, element of fire, we welcome you and your courage this evening. It takes courage to create a new beginning, to imagine a new life, a new template for our lives, a new paradigm for us to move within. So we invite you to join us this evening. And thank you for your presence. Element of water, direction of west. We come to you seeking emotional refuge, comfort, clarity, intuition, inner knowing, discernment. So thankful for our ability to see what is coming before it transpires. We know that you always give us the signs, element of water, as we need to see them. So we thank you for your presence. And direction of north, element of earth, thank you for grounding us this evening, helping us to feel safe and protected as we move without Luna's light, using the energy of this dark sky to create new art, to create new images, new visions of what's possible for us. And we thank you for your presence. And so now that the directions are anchored, I want you to imagine out of your left hand extends that beautiful beam of white light. White light of peace, clarity, joy, healing, possibility, blessing for all of you. And let that beam of white light extend out of your left hand. Let it wind its way around the circle tonight, across oceans and continents, time and space. Just trail that white beam of light as it comes back to you in your right hand, and when it does, you'll be holding the entirety of the energy of our circle in your hands. Just letting your hands feel warm. You can feel tingly a little bit as you hold that energy. And break down the barriers within yourself. Let that energy come into your being. Let it flood you from root to crown. Let it move down into your arms and into your fingertips. Let it move down your legs and into your toes. Let it move up your spine and into your brain. And then imagine pushing that white light out beyond your physical parameters, out into your auric field, into your etheric field. And from there, imagine pushing that light even further beyond your field to the broader energetic field, so that you connect to all that is. And with that, our beautiful circle is open. So I'm going to share with you, in just a brief version of it, what I shared with my students today, which is what I'm calling the Garden of Possibility. And this could become a theme for us. I was sharing with them, and I'll share with you the quick story about my experience when I was 5. That's shaping our meditation tonight, and I'm almost 45, so we're talking about 40 years later. The image of what I experienced was so powerful and profound. But what I really want you to think about is it's a metaphor for you that literally at your fingertips is a garden of possibility. It's literally right there. Everything you seek and everything you desire, by the way, everything you desire is meant to be yours. You have that desire for a reason. You know that not everyone desires what you desire, right? All those little ideas. Why do I want this? Why do I feel like I need this? It's messages to you. You want this because there's giggles in the room because everybody knows. You want these things because you're meant to have them so that you can bring them forward into the collective. Does that make sense? None of your desires are insignificant. In fact, my desire is to see you have your desires. And in many ways, I think your desires are to see the rest of us have our desires. And that's where we start to feed each other because we're all one. That's where we start to see our interconnectedness. And so we'll begin with that story. So when I was 5, my parents, we lived in San Bernardino, which is not a lush, beautiful place. It's a nice place to live, but I would not describe it as lush or beautiful. It is not a garden of possibility. In fact, in the summer, it gets up to 110, 120 degrees. And so my parents had met these amazing people, and they had this home, and they were well known for their gardens, but they were in San Bernardino. They lived up on a hillside. And so my parents drove me up to their house, and they were talking, and I remember finding my way out to these French doors that led to their garden. And I remember being 5 and standing in front of those French doors, and they were closed, and I could see out. And I literally could not believe what I was seeing. It was, from my perspective, when I hear Garden of Eden, this is what I imagine. When I opened those French doors, and I don't know why I was alone, somebody let me kind of ramble off. They probably saw I was in a crazy place and I just wanted to, go and explore. When I opened those doors and I stepped onto that garden, I completely lost my footing. I didn't know where I was. How in the middle of 120 degree heat were there, everywhere I looked was green. The grass was this thick and lush. My feet just got lost in it. And when I looked up, there were willow trees and, eucalyptus trees and grapefruit trees with fruit just hanging and fruit falling on the ground. And there were orange trees with fruit hanging and falling on the ground, and avocado trees with fruit hanging and falling on the ground. And flowers in bloom. And again, where I lived, 5 minutes, 10 minutes away, there was none of that. So I looked out at all of this, and I remember as a 5-year-old looking around and saying, this isn't possible. This can't be real. Where am I? How is it? And in that moment, my only thought, all these years later, my only thought was, I really believe that anything I want is right here. Anything I need is right here. I could reach out and touch it. And that one experience of complete possibility, imagine, close your eyes. Imagine in your life right now, what would it mean for you to feel authentically, because this wasn't me making this up, authentically in that moment, in this moment, what if you felt like there was a place where everything that you wanted was right within your reach? anything. And what if it seemed like it wasn't even possible? Because that didn't seem real. How was it even possible? What that came to be a metaphor for me anyway was that there's always that place. That place exists for you right now. Everything that you want, the relationship that you want, the profession that you want, the prosperity that you want, the health that you want, the happiness that you want, the peace that you want, the rest that you want at night. Anything that you want is within your reach. And there are beautiful French doors that open to you where it seems like it's impossible. And that yet there you are looking around and saying, is this real? And the answer is, it is real. I believe it with all my heart because I lived it. I had no explanation for why I could see these two very disparate realities, and both of them were quite real. And the message from my guides in that moment was, it's your choice. You can have an experience of lack or you can have an experience of fullness, and it's your choice how you perceive it. So I want you to close your eyes and I want you to imagine your own Garden of Eden. Okay, I want you to imagine, and you can even do the exercise of seeing doors in front of you and letting those doors fall open, and in front of you, and in that moment I went left to right. Like I started at the left of their garden and just let my gaze kind of open as I just saw tree after tree after tree and fruit after fruit after fruit. What would that be for you? If you were to gaze left to right, would it be, I don't know, what would it be? The time that you wish you had with your family, and just endless amounts of it. Or the resources that it would take for you to start your own dream business. I don't know what that is. And endless amounts of it. The happiness that you want to feel in your life. The laughter, right? The play, the joy, and endless amounts of it. The comfort that you want to feel, lack of pain in your body, complete ease in your movement, right? So many of you suffer from so many different types of physical ailments, and endless amounts of ease and comfort. Love that you want to feel in that relationship, being seen, being held, being intimate, being safe, and endless amounts of it. This universe that we live in is absolutely infinite. There is nothing finite about it except you. You're the only finite part of this universe. And even your soul is not. This is just your physical body that's finite. Any sense of limitation that you feel in your life right now is your own construction. I know that's hard to wrap your head around, but it's really true. You have constructed a sense of limitation, and tonight I want to invite you to create something new. I want to invite you to step into a different vision for yourself. So what does this garden look like for you? And visualization is everything when it comes to the new moon. We don't have Luna's light to guide us, and so you have to use your own vision. This is night vision we're working with at the new moon. What does it mean for you? If it's the relationship, if it's the job, if it's the peace, if it's the time with your family, if it's the health, if it's the happiness, if it's the comfort, if it's the grief and moving through the grief, whatever it is, keep saying to yourself, and endless amounts of it. And holding that vision. And I hear you in the feed, Andrea says, you know, I feel deep and love deep and have neglected myself. If you could create a vision for yourself that felt endlessly abundant and endlessly supportive and endlessly joyful, what would that look like for you right now? And I want you to see it like it's the fruit on those trees when I was 5. You know, I want you to see all of that possibility standing in front of you. And it may seem so impossible to you, but I'm telling you right now, nothing is impossible. I have seen absolute miracles unfold if you believe. That is the key to everything I'm telling you tonight. You have to believe and you have to trust, which means letting go of fear. And it could be just a beautiful garden. And so as you're imagining this field of infinite possibility for yourself, if doubt creeps in, if fear creeps in, I want you to notice it and then invite them to step aside. I see you, doubt. You're going to come stand over here. I see you, fear. You're going to come stand over here. And this isn't about anybody else tonight. This is just you. This is your garden. And even if it seems crazy or outlandish what you're looking at, this is about you creating what it is that is going to serve your soul, because every desire you have has been planted in you by a source far greater, because you're meant to enjoy it, you're meant to experience it, and you're meant to bring it into this world to bless other people ultimately, and to become an example, I think, in so many ways. So what does it look like? It must be so beautiful where you are. I want to jump into your vision and see what you're seeing. But it can be you with every resource. If you need people to support you, I want you to look out at your garden and see people just coming forward. How can I help you? How can I serve you? What can I bring to you? What do you need? For a lot of us, that's what we need, is other people to support us. Call it in tonight. Do you need women in your life to support you? Call them in. Do you need men in your life to support you? Call them in. Do you need to be served? That's a question of the new moon in Virgo. Do you need to be served? And what kind of service do you need? Do you need people around you who are asking you how you feel? Call that in. Do you need people who are around you who can ask you what they can do to support you? Call it in. Tonight, around service, all of your intentions are going to be fully supported by the universe, because that's the energy of this new moon. Calling in friends, I love it, absolutely. If you need friends to surround you, tonight's the night. Call in the friendships, call in the connection, call in the intimacy, call in the support, call in that circle of people. It's never too late. I think a lot of us get into the later years of our life and think, oh, I'm not going to be able to find friends, not people who understand me. Absolutely not. Call in your tribe, call in your circle. Karen said help cleaning and financial stability. Call in people to clean for you, call in people to support you. If you have a health condition and you're not sure what's going on, call in the right doctors, call in the right medical care. Absolutely. I need people I can be authentic with. I see that in the feed. Call in your authentic tribe. Financial support, call them in. Teachers, call them in. Calling in the muses. So beautiful. If you need people to support you as you do releasing work of any kind, call them in. So once you feel like you have in your mind all of the people, the things, the circumstances, and by the way, there's no such thing as a dumb request. The universe is giving you a desire for a reason. It waits on you to express it. So you call in whatever you need right now. And say yes. Say yes. I receive, I receive, I receive, I receive. And so I'm going to light my candle. If you have yours and you want to light yours, you can light it. Yes, yes, yes. Yes to support. Yes to love. Yes to prosperity. Yes to happiness. Yes, yes, yes. And thank you, thank you, thank you. Always say everything in threes. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is done, it is done, it is done. Abundance, support. And in the feed, everybody keeps saying it. Does anybody want to pop up in the room? What are you calling in?
Power.
Power.
Self-love.
Self-love.
Forgiveness.
I love forgiveness.
Stability.
Stability.
Strength.
Strength.
Awakening.
Awakening.
Walking in purpose.
I love that.
Peace.
Peace. Peace.
Authentic friendship.
Authentic friendship. Hallelujah. Beautiful energy in the feed.
Being humble.
Being humble.
Genuineness.
What was that?
Genuineness.
Genuineness. Amen.
Honesty.
Honesty.
Hope.
Hope.
Tolerance.
What was that?
Tolerance.
Tolerance. Amen.
Faith.
Faith.
Patience.
What was that?
Patience.
Patience.
Clarity.
Clarity. That was the word that kept coming to me, so thank you for speaking it into the field. I appreciate it. Compassion, perseverance, tribe. That word keeps coming up. I think a lot of people are seeking tribe, And it's never too late. Your tribe can find you in your 50s, in your 60s, in your 90s. Your tribe is looking for you too. If you're trying to call in your tribe, trust me, they are looking for you as well. What's that Rumi quote? Everything you seek is seeking you. There is no desire in your heart that isn't also desiring you. Does that make sense? There is no desire in your heart that isn't also desiring you. I want to affirm that for you tonight, because I think a lot of us think, oh, it's just this little silly thing in my heart, but no. Even people, if you find yourself desiring someone, 99% of the time it's because that person is already in desire of you. And that goes for soulmate relationships. You know, like, oh, I feel like I'm finally ready to call in my great love. Really? Because that person's probably been calling you in for the past 6 months, and you're just getting the memo. Knock, 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 knock. You know? How true is that? That's so cute. Someone in the feed just said, I'm 52 and come on over, tribe. If I could show up at your door tonight, you know I would. That's kind of scary, but I totally would show up at your door. Hey, your tribe's here.
We are here.
Hope you have wine. It's going to be a long night. Woo! Call in the slumber party, the pajama party. I mean, that is really the message. I think primarily is hope and peace and trust that everything that you desire is also desiring you. And so you are, you know, that's the number one thing, because a lot of us will say, I would really like this, but I don't know. Other people need other stuff so much more. You're not in line. The universe, it's not like the universe has 10 desires that it can dole out tonight. You better get in line. There is enough for you to have everything that you desire and for everyone else to have what they need too. We're talking about an infinite universe. Kelly's like, I have wine. 12 bottles, Janet says, to be exact. She counted. It's really great. Naki has white and red. I love you guys. That's how I know I have my tribe. Okay, are you ready? So what I'd like to invite you to do is narrow down your list. Let's do 3, okay? Take all of the many desires that you have spoken into the field tonight, and I want you to really narrow your field of focus to 3 of those. 3. What are your 3 desires for the next lunar cycle? And really take a moment. I mean, this is a big deal. When we're sitting at a new moon under this sky with this energy and this collective, this is no joke. So you can write your 3 down. You can just say them quietly in your own mind. But what are the 3 places you really want to put your chips tonight? What are the 3 things that your soul is really crying out for this month? And Great Spirit, we ask that you see us this evening as we come before you with humility and gratitude, asking that you bless us in these 3 primary areas of our life tonight. These 3 wishes, these 3 desires, we know that you have placed them on our heart for a reason, so that as we receive, we can continue to be a source of blessing and support for others. And when you feel like you have your 3, and you've really crystallized them, and have sent them up to Source, have held them in your heart, have written them down, and you really feel like they're clear for you, you can blow out your candle. I'm holding 3, by the way, for myself and 3 for the planet, so I invite you to do that too. My main intention for the planet, I will tell you, during this lunar cycle is I am calling in energies of wisdom, discernment, and a sense of, I'm trying to think of the right word, it's more of an energy stream, but a sense of control, so that we can calm the energies that are at play in the field. As Mother Nature is mirroring to us this really dramatic uptick in her own language, which is weather. And so what we need to do is acknowledge to Gaia that we see her and we hear her, and that we are going to try to balance those energies with a sense of calm, discernment, and control, because she is out of balance right now. And energetically we can do a lot to transmute that. I love that. Lisa says, I receive, I receive, I receive. So why don't we use that as a mantra, Lisa? Thank you for that. I receive, I receive, I receive. And then for your planetary intention, shall we do we receive, we receive, we receive? We receive, we receive, we receive. And one of the things you can do during the week, by the way, we'll talk about this with Cosmic Comfort tomorrow, but one of the visualizations you can do if you have concern for a planet right now, which I know many of us do as empaths, is you can imagine actually holding Gaia in your hands and just imagine sort of creating a protective barrier around her. What I like to imagine is bathing Gaia first in a beautiful sphere of white light that surrounds her for peace and clarity. And then you can turn that white light green for healing, to heal her oceans, to heal, I send a lot of that energy down to places where we know there's been major destruction. And then you can turn that light pink to send love energies to those places in the world that are missing that love. You can turn that light gold. In my experience, gold is about creation and generation of energy, so you can send empowerment energies to those places. You can turn that light indigo to help activate people's intuition around what is needed, preparing better for different storms and things that may occur. So you can imagine bathing her in different colors of light for different purposes. I always turn it back to white at the end of that meditation. Can you feel it between your hands as you sort of imagine it, right? Always turn that light back to white for peace and clarity, and then in my mind it sort of pixelates. I sort of release that sphere of light from around her and release her from that meditation. But that's a very beautiful, just at night before you go to sleep, just hold our planet in your hands, because right now she needs it more than ever. Truly. We receive, we receive, we receive. And I love that. Lisa says, I believe, I believe, I believe. I love that too. Yes. Gaia Shanti. Om Shanti 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 Shanti. So mote it be. Whew. Okay. So now we give thanks for this beautiful energy that we've raised together as a collective. If there's anywhere else you want to send the energy tonight, you can take a moment to do that now. Again, sending it to the PNW, sending it to the Gulf Coast, sending it to the BVI, to the British Virgin Islands, and then expanding it out to other parts of the world, sending it down to Mexico this evening. We see you, we see you, we see you. We stand with you. We're holding you. Just transmuting the fear, calming the energy, calming the weather patterns. We see you, we hear you, Gaia. And then returning your hands to that receptive position. So, Guardians of the Northern Gateway, thank you for holding us, for grounding us this evening, for stabilizing our circle. We're so thankful for your presence. We release you from your service to our circle this evening. Guardians of the Western Gateway, thank you for helping us connect with these deeper emotions, for helping us to feel worthy of what we desire, knowing that our desires really are in service not just to ourselves but to each other as well. We release you from your service to the circle this evening. Guardians of the Southern Gateway, it takes courage to do this work. And my sisters and brothers and I do it rather fearlessly, but we rely on you for support. So thank you for being present, and we release you from your service. Guardians of the Eastern Gateway, always a new beginning, and we're so grateful. Thank you for the breath of life. Thank you for teaching us to flow and to move effortlessly between and among the obstacles that we perceive in our lives. Thank you for reminding us to move like smoke, not to resist, but always to overcome. And we release you from your service to the circle this evening. And then just like that beautiful beam of white light came to you in your right hand, you'll release it from your right hand now, letting the energy of our circle unwind its way. Counterclockwise, coming back to you in your left hand. And as it does, I like to turn my left hand upside down and imagine sending all of that energy that we've raised tonight down to the very center of our planet. Knowing that energy that we raise is never wasted. You can't create energy and you can't destroy it. You can only coagulate it. You can only raise it and intensify it. And so we send all of this energy that we have raised and gathered this evening back to you, Gaia, for your purposes. May you use it, take it, spread it, wherever it needs to go in service of those who need it most. And so it is. And then my other practices, I like to work with garnet afterward to just ground. So if you have your garnets, it's a good practice just to get in the habit of holding your garnets afterward, which stabilizes and balances your own energy field. Big work tonight, yeah? Okay, so do you have your personal intention in mind? Yeah? So what I recommend that you do, the moon technically is new overnight tonight. I think it's 11:30 Pacific time. So what I'd like to see you do is go home. You don't have to repeat this ritual, but I would like to see you, if you're already home, just make sure you write your intention down somewhere. There is something about handwriting. In my early days when I was taking magical classes decades ago, a teacher at that time, who's been gone for a long time now, but I'll never forget, she came to me and she said, never underestimate the power of your handwriting. And she said to be very careful who you give it to, which is true too. It's called an object link, and your handwriting is not like any other handwriting on the planet. Literally, there are markers in your handwriting that are completely unique to you. So even though we're in this age of like computer and email and all of that, hopefully you're old school like me and you still like to write things down. You should write your intentions down. And chart them that way. But your handwriting adds its own layer of energy to anything that you put on paper. So I highly encourage you, even though it's old school, to still write your intentions down. Okay, so do you have any questions? Yes.
Our intention for this first cycle, if it doesn't fruit, we make the same intention the next cycle.
Yes, it's a great question. So her intention is, if it doesn't bear fruit, your intention in this lunar cycle, can you extend it? And one of the things over time, what you might come to find, let me just do the formality of opening the circle this way too. What you might come to find is that you take a meta intention. So let's say you have a really big one, okay, that you know isn't going to come to pass in 28 days. What I will do sometimes is chunk that up, okay? So I will take what looks like an annual intention and break it down into its component parts, and then each month I will seed one part of it. Okay, so let's say, one of my longer term intentions is building a healing center in Hawaii, right? So I am seeding little bits of that, because that's not a 28-day intention. Even for super magical people, that's not going to happen. But you seed little tiny bits of it. It can take a year, it can take 5 years, it can take 10 years. But it's almost like bite size. So start small. And that's helpful too. And what's nice is, if you're like me, where you like to see results, when you do your little micro intentions, rather than the big macro intention, you're likely to see some movement on it. Yeah. And don't be afraid to dream big, though. That's the other piece. Do you know what I mean? I often see metaphysical people who are afraid to ask for big things. It's almost like it seems selfish to them. But let me just reassure you, if you have a desire, it's because you're meant to have it. I really believe that. But I do think there is a component of always asking, how will this serve the greater good? If I receive this, what will that mean for the whole? And I do think that the universe sometimes privileges intentions that have service built in for the greater good. But you being happy serves the greater good. You see that, right? You being unhappy does not serve the greater good, because you're me. So if you're unhappy, how can I be happy, right? If you're not at peace, how can I be at peace? If we are the same, which we are, that's what the flower of life teaches us, right? You and I are just dots on that flower of life. That's all we are. So you're pulling my thread and I'm pulling your thread. So I want you to be happy, because that also impacts my experience of happiness. I want you to be prosperous, because that impacts my experience of prosperity. When I see people competing with each other, I don't understand that, because if I take from you, I don't gain. Do you know what I mean? The more I give to you, the more I have. Sort of. It's almost like it's sort of counterintuitive thinking, but I do see people sort of like doing this sometimes, and I think no, it's part of the greater. You have to think of yourself as being part of this expansive river, and the more you pour into it, the more it feeds back to you as well. So hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, Teresa says, good, because I'm going to Hawaii with you. I've already told everybody, look, I'm going to need a lot of help, so I don't know what your retirement plan is, but I sure would love to have you there. I'm going to need some seriously powerful folks there when the time comes. I look forward to that.
Ooh, give me a to-do list.
Amen. Okay, so I have a giveaway in the room, and I have a giveaway online. I know. I'm so excited. So we did this fun little thing today. So what I taught my students today was about the blue indigo bag. Did you guys hear the audio? Did anybody hear the audio today? Any chance I put in the classroom? No? Okay, not yet. You'll hear it later. So I taught about this blue indigo bag, and I taught about the idea of putting little quartz points. The idea is in your visualization, imagine a blue indigo bag and you put your intentions in here every month. And then you seal it up and you send your blue bag off to the universe. So this is a literal interpretation of that. And each one of the quartz points represents one of your intentions, because you can actually program quartz to hold the energy of your intention. So this one for that intention, this one for that intention, and then I put labradorite in there because that's the new moonstone. So these are in the shop, but I want to give one away to somebody who's in the room right now, and I want to give one away to somebody who's online. Are you ready? I'm so excited about this. So these are going to come kind of supercharged from me for you with extra energy for this little experience that we're having tonight. So you're going to get 5 quartz points, a labradorite stone, and a little blue velvet bag. And so every month, if you want to keep using these same quartz points, you can just clear the energy. So at the end of each lunar cycle, you can say, I now clear the energy of last month's intentions to reprogram these quartz points to hold the new intentions. Does that make sense? It's a fun exercise. It's a fun way of thinking about it. If you're a visual person and you like to hold something in your hands, this is kind of an exciting way of doing new moon intention setting. It's fun, right? Okay, so you online, let me know if it's calling to you. I'm going to choose somebody online, and then who in the room is feeling called? Is anybody not feeling called? That's probably a better way. I'm going to choose a winner in the room, and then I'm going to come back and choose a winner online, too. I don't think it's for you. No. Sometimes it is, though. Sometimes that happens. I know this is for you. Hi.
Me?
Yes. What is your name?
Trinity.
Trinity. Well, hi, Trinity. It's a pleasure to meet you.
I don't know anything about it, but I thought like not raising a hand is not receiving from the universe.
That's
so.
right. This is a gift to you through me, really. So Trinity, I set the intention that these quartz points will hold your intentions and that they will come to pass in perfect time and in deep alignment with your soul's path of purpose. May it be so.
And I just wanted to share when you were doing exercise, and actually I already had a love for the planet, and then I saw this like a child holding the puppy, like holding this planet. Before you said the word, I already had this like 5-year-old child grabbing the planet and like a puppy, like kissing it and loving it and asking for forgiveness, and that, full heart of that child love to the planet from everyone to feel that way.
Yes. Thank you for being here and being open. Thank you. From my heart to yours. Many blessings to you.
Third eye to third eye.
Yes, that's right. Thank you. Thank you. Athena. And Trinity. Oh. We had a moment. You missed it. Sorry, everybody. Trinity and I had a moment. That was beautiful. Hopefully you could hear. That was very, very sweet. I should have turned the camera around. Okay, so who online is feeling called? Who? I know, Trinity's beautiful. Can I just show you Trinity really quick? Hold on. This is Trinity. Say hi, Trinity. Aw, isn't she lovely? Did you hear what she said about the child holding the planet? What's really sweet is sometimes we need to hear children because they remind us. Like, they are really concerned about the planet, in a way that as we as adults, I think we stop holding that energy, or we start thinking it's not possible to help everyone. But little kids believe they can. So we have to get back to that, because the reality is we can help everyone. Energy is a powerful thing. And if you think we're not transmuting a lot of energy in our planet right now, my friends, we certainly are. I think we're holding it. Everybody's congratulating you, Trinity. So beautiful. Everybody's so happy for you. They've never met you and they're in love.
That's cute.
They're
My
in
other
love.
question was, like, in asking for something,
Yes.
the ability to recognize whether it's ego asking
Yes.
or higher self.
That's right. You have to trust. I mean, I think for most, in my experience, most people recognize it just saying, "Oh, I would like to have a BMW," or what. You know, like when I see people's visions boards and it's all things, I'm always like, "Well, is there, you know, what?" But I do believe sometimes that material things are being asked for in service of spirit. So I don't always think it's necessarily ego. I don't think it's that easy and that clean to be able to make the distinction. But I do think it's asking yourself, what is your heart really desiring? You know what I mean? And then get underneath it. So if you say, well, it's a car, what does the car represent? Right? Because I still think there are spiritual people who are trying to feed something that can't be fed with material things. And so I think if you focus on the energy streams first, the energy streams sometimes will show up as material items. Do you know what I mean? But so I guess I'm drawing a distinction. Sometimes the ego shows up in the desire for material things, but sometimes it doesn't. You need material things to be able to activate your larger goals. You know what I mean? So it's, I think it's as long as you feel like you're clear in your own intentions, and you are in dialogue with your guides, I think you can trust the voice that comes through. But I think it's also time. You know, when people say, well, how do I know if it's my meditation or if it's just my own, how do I know if it's my guides or my own monkey mind that's telling me these things, you know? And I think it's about time and experience to really understand the distinction between the ego and the spirit. Yeah, I really believe that. Okay, here we go. Are you ready? It's giveaway time online. Oh, I love that. I love that, I love that, I love that. Okay, you ready? I think I know. I think I know. Oh, where did she go? Hold on. It's going so fast. I wish you guys could see. Okay. All right. Are you ready? Mm-hmm. Gloria Caballero. I believe that the second set of chords with labradorite in a beautiful bag is going to you. Hi, Gloria. Gloria, I need to see you and know that you heard me say it's you. I had seen your name, Gloria, and it just jumped off the screen for me. That's what happens sometimes. It's almost like it gets like a neon little glow around it. Gloria Caballero, where are you? I'm sending you huge love tonight, and I'll be sending you these tools in the mail to you tomorrow for you to enjoy. So much love. Congratulations, Gloria. Oh, it's wonderful. All right, you guys. Well, new moon blessings to you. I'm going to hopefully see you Friday. You know, it's Maybon, right? So fall equinox. So Friday night right here at 6 o'clock. We're going to be doing full Maybon ritual. I think it's the first time we're doing it live, online and in person. And then if you're in my classes, we have class tomorrow night and we have class Thursday night. So you're going to get really tired of me before the week is over.
Absolutely.
But, you know, I mean, maybe you missed me a little bit while I was in Denver. So maybe that's a good thing. Oh, that's so great. Congratulations, Gloria. Yes, Gloria saw it. Yay! That's what I was waiting for. I was waiting for you to see it so that you know you got it. All right. Huge love, you guys, from my heart to yours. I look forward to seeing you on Friday. Thanks, everybody, for being here. May your intentions come to fruition in perfect time. So it is. So it is, so it is, so it is. Oh, I forgot the stone. That's right. We have a gift for you. Ready? Other than that, everybody in the room gets one to take home for free. Just now.
Thank you.
We have beautiful tumbled obsidian for you tonight that has been anointed with one of our new moon perfumes. We have Nova Luna, we have Dark Moon, we have Umbra, so we kind of did a mix for you. And then if you're online and you want to get your free stone, the code is Virgo, but only for 24 hours. So if you save Virgo in your notes, we're going to send you your free stone. We have to do it that way so that we know where to send your stone. So code Virgo gets you a free stone no matter what you order tonight, just for the next 24 hours, and everybody in the room gets theirs for free. So thanks, everybody. I will see you. Yes, you can pick it up here at the store, everybody, too. Have a good night.